Hello, this presentation will cover business intelligence in the FDA and U.S. pharmaceutical industry. My name is Anna Carr and I will be presenting the information regarding the FDA, and Laura KinCannon will be presenting on the pharmaceutical industry. We will begin with an introduction of the need for business intelligence in the FDA and pharmaceutical industry. I will then cover an overview of the FDA, what it is and why it was established. We will see the benefits of BI and show examples with the Sentinel Initiative and STAR LIMS. I will also open a discussion question regarding challenges of safety requirements and how we can make compliance more efficient and useful for the good of society. Then we will transition into the applications of business intelligence in the pharmaceutical industry. We will provide an overview of the industry, then discuss 5 examples of how BI tools are used and have the potential for improving business decisions in the industry altogether. Then we'll look at the specific company, Carr Pharmaceuticals. We'll discuss each BI tool that is currently in use in the organization and how these tools fit into their business decision making. We'll also elaborate on the specific successes and challenges they've experienced with each BI tool. We'll wrap up with some further discussion, including how the FDA and pharmaceutical industry are utilizing BI during the COVID-19 pandemic. Business intelligence can be used for many things within the FDA and regulated companies. The main goal of the FDA and pharmaceutical initiatives should be public safety. BI can aid and enhance the abilities to detect pharmaceutical quality and ensure there is adherence to laws and regulations by FDA-registered companies. Through all of this, the hope would be to increase efficiencies within the FDA and the pharmaceutical companies to benefit society. The FDA was originally created to protect consumers from dangerous and low-quality drugs. Over time, laws have been enacted to hold food, drug, and medical device companies accountable to safety standards. 2 examples of these laws passed are the Pure Food and Drugs Act and the Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Acts. These laws can be vague to accommodate a large variety of work that is done in the industries. Because of this, FDA regulations and guidance documents are created for more specific compliance. Benefits of business intelligence in the FDA includes better ability of tracking of adverse drug event reporting. We have the ability to detect and respond to safety issues and are able to communicate these to the public more effectively. There can be more efficient tracking of pharmaceuticals on the market and more visibility to those companies who have had regulatory and compliance issues. With BI, the public can see warning letters and 483s for companies who have quality issues within their systems. There has become more oversight and accountability through the BI systems to make sure that evaluation and resolution of safety issues are adequate. Many of these benefits are seen in the 2 applications I am highlighting here, the Sentinel Initiative and STAR LIMS. The Sentinel Initiative is a collaborative data effort that has developed into the largest multi-site distributed database in the world dedicated to medical product safety. It's a national electronic capability for monitoring drug safety and identifying and analyzing post-market risk. This includes drugs, vaccines, biologics, and medical devices, and is also continuing to grow in areas such as epidemiology and statistics. Here is an overview of what the Sentinel Initiative is able to accomplish through their database.
Sentinel is an active surveillance program created by the Food and Drug Administration used to monitor medical product safety of its vaccines, drugs, biologics, and devices. Traditionally, FDA has relied on passive surveillance, where we rely on patients or doctors to notice adverse events and report them to the FDA. One of the signature achievements of the Sentinel system is the distributed database. This is really the mechanism that enables 17 data partners, health maintenance organizations, national health insurers, to be willing to share their data with the FDA. And they contribute data on more than 200 million Americans. That allows us to do analyses that previously took 1, 2, 3 years to do, and now we can do in a matter of months. All the analyses stay behind a firewall, protected and private, and the data always reside in the control of the original data holder. The only thing that gets sent back to the FDA and the coordinating center are aggregated data, stripped of protected health information, and results. We were able to see every time a patient receives a medication or receives a vaccine or receives some other therapy or device, and we're able to look forward in time and see what kind of reactions did they have, at the same time as we're able to look backward in time and assess any underlying patient risks to them and control for those patient risks. So one great example was a study recently done.
As mentioned in the video, this is a large initiative to use data sets from multiple companies to perform accelerated analyses for the benefit of society. Hopefully, over time, we'll have more companies involved in this initiative. The next business intelligence tool used by the FDA is StarLIMS. StarLIMS is a laboratory information management system that is used by the FDA laboratories and other FDA regulated companies across the country. LIMS can aid in multiple places through a pharmaceutical process, from R&D through to manufacturing and analysis and reporting. The purpose of documenting and trending laboratory results helps ensure pharmaceutical products are maintaining quality standards. The system is made to ensure compliance with 21 CFR Part 11, which maintains data integrity through good documentation practices. There are many features and uses of StarLIMS. This includes results entry, storage, maintenance and assessment, compliance with various standards, tracking and reorder information for consumables, analyst training information, and data analytics for business decisions. The system serves as a data warehouse for documentation on activities, testings, and procedures. Because the FDA regulates their own laboratories and the industry, these features are required to maintain quality data so unreliable results and information is not being used to pass drug quality. The LIMS creates great benefits for laboratories, from being able to enter and retain all generated data to using the input information to make business decisions. The Electronic Laboratory Notebook, the ELN, removes any paper-based worksheets and places them straight into the LIMS. Instead of just data entry, a user-friendly worksheet or notebook is available in the system. The Scientific Data Management System, the SDMS, allows a laboratory to connect the LIMS to internal standard operating procedures and equipment for easy transition of data. This means that procedures are at the fingertips of those performing testing, and the system acts as a single point of truth for all data. The advanced analytics takes all of the data and allows users to evaluate KPIs and other information to make business decisions or ensure all parts of the business is running smoothly. There are many challenges with BI for FDA and safety. The high safety regulations means higher BI acquisition and maintenance costs to businesses. There's a lot of compliance requirements that cause validated systems to be used, making homegrown systems difficult or sometimes impossible to be created and used. Requirements for data integrity means high training and use of BI, which can cause strain on the system and also efficiencies. So the discussion questions that I would like to pose is, are these challenges outweighed by the benefits of consumer and public safety? And although advancements in BI have been great, are there too many restraints that stifle efficiencies? And can there be further advancements to monitor industrial trends and compliances? So with all of these restraints, are we also hindering other things such as patient access? Without efficiencies and high efficiency output of pharmaceutical products, is there an issue where patients are not able to access that? And then also, is that high cost of BI being put onto the company being transferred onto the patient, also making it difficult for them to access these pharmaceuticals? Although the challenges may be difficult, the benefit of consumer and public safety make them necessary to overcome. So is there a way that we can implement more BI to help pharmaceutical companies and laboratories know what's going to be inspected and enforced or understand trends within the industry? Is there a way that we can take the Sentinel Initiative framework and apply to the FDA regulated companies? The more transparency there is for companies and users to have, the more efficient they can run and more confident they can be when making quality decisions. Now, I'm going to transfer it over to Laura, who will now go over the U.S. pharmaceutical industry.
Now we'll further discuss the use of BI tools in the pharmaceutical industry. My name is KinCannon. Dating as far back as the early 1800s, herbalists and apothecaries have been creating treatments to cure ailments in the body. Now, hundreds of FDA-regulated pharmaceutical companies produce a variety of medicines used to prevent, diagnose, treat, and cure these ailments and their symptoms. While almost 1 million people work directly in the U.S. pharmaceutical industry, almost 5 million individuals are also directly or indirectly employed through U.S. pharmaceuticals. Yet, the U.S. pharmaceutical industry is under increased scrutiny for some of its practices. U.S. drug prices are among the highest in the world. A 2016 study in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that U.S. consumers spend, on average, over twice as much on prescription drugs when compared with other industrialized nations. Oftentimes citing the high cost of research and development for high drug prices, a 2016 study from the California Nurses Association Institute for Health and Socioeconomic Policy found that the majority of top pharmaceutical companies actually spend 2 to 10 times of their research and development budgets on marketing and sales, much of which is spent on incentivizing individual physicians to prescribe their products. Compared with other large companies on the S&P 500 index, pharmaceutical companies have higher average profit margins overall. These conclusions cause many to look to both pharmaceutical companies and U.S. policymakers to seek reform that can reduce the cost of drug prices and make treatments overall more accessible. In this industry, there are several opportunities to utilize business intelligence to improve decision-making. We've outlined 5 general areas where the industry is using BI tools. Research leading to the recipes for new drugs, the supply of raw materials needed to produce these drugs, the process of producing and testing, the ability to maintain industry compliance and regulation, and the methods used to maximize profit. In this context, research refers to the data collection and analysis that leads to pharmaceutical treatment of medical conditions. At this stage, BI concepts and tools are used to analyze both a targeted healthcare condition and existing medical treatment to predict what medical components will be able to treat the target. Raw materials needed for drug manufacturing include organic materials, like plants and fungi, biologics, and synthetic materials to bind and carry medicinal ingredients. Like any other company that produces finished goods, supplier selection is key in being able to acquire necessary materials, and business intelligence tools can be used to narrow down and predict the best suppliers for the job. To prepare a drug for approval, production includes the manufacturing of the medication from raw materials into a consumable product, along with lab testing and analysis of results. In addition to testing the efficacy of the drug, companies must perform other testing required by the industry, such as stability studies to determine how the compounds in the drug react over time to changes in light, temperature, and humidity. Here, BI tools again directly aid in the analysis of these lab results. Recent trends in laboratory BI solutions include laboratory information systems, or LIS, and laboratory automation systems, or LAS, that improve testing protocols, as well as real-time data collection. In the U.S., drug product quality is regulated by the FDA. In order to gain approval, a pharmaceutical company must provide all of the data and analysis on their drug development and laboratory testing. Drug approval is only granted if the team of scientists, physicians, chemists, statisticians, and pharmacologists reviewing the analysis concur that the predicting statistics defend the drug's ability to treat a specific condition and predicts accurately the drug's risks. Showing analyzed predictions to gain approvals and maintaining high-quality data to remain compliant are both facilitated by BI technology that aids in the data mining process. Pharmaceutical companies can face significant risk when choosing to begin the process of developing a new drug. A 2013 study published in the Journal of Health Economics found that the average cost to research, develop, produce, and gain approval for a drug was $2.87 billion, a process which can take 10 years. In today's dollars, this is the equivalent of $3.16 billion to put into a new drug before it hits the market. Business intelligence tools are leveraged to be able to show how much spending should be put into marketing their product, what sort of marketing strategy they should employ, and how their drugs should be priced in order to generate a profit. Data can be used from a company's own previous sales, in addition to sales from other companies, to be able to perform this data analysis. For an example of a pharmaceutical company utilizing business intelligence to achieve its goals of improving processes and optimizing output, we'll examine Corden Pharmaceuticals. Corden Pharmaceuticals, or Corden Pharma, is a contract development and manufacturing organization, or CDMO, that works in the pharmaceutical industry to produce and supply active pharmaceutical ingredients, or APIs, such as liquids, capsules, and powders that include the active ingredients used in drug manufacturing. Like many organizations, they utilize multiple BI services and use BI tools to improve their business decision making. We'll cover the ways they use business intelligence to determine which suppliers they use to acquire raw materials, the tools they use to meet industry and FDA requirements so they can maintain compliancy, and the ERP system they use to optimize regular processes. To help evaluate new potential suppliers for raw materials, they utilize the business intelligence services of Infinity Research. Infinity Research is a company that performs market assessments and claims expertise in over 50 industries. For Corden Pharma, Infinity Research gathers data on potential suppliers of materials needed to make APIs. They gather data related to each supplier's history of financial health and compliance within industry regulations, including the FDA. They then model and predict which supplier will be most likely to continue to remain compliant with FDA regulations, as well as maintain good financial health so that they will be a consistent and reliable supplier for Corden Pharma. Corden Pharma claims that this relationship has served them well. The company has improved their knowledge of current and potential suppliers by utilizing the services of a third party that specializes in collecting this data. Additionally, by having outsourced this analysis, they benefit from increased internal resources by way of more free time. Consequently, by being less involved in the analysis of potential suppliers, Corden Pharma may face challenges in communicating the benefits of certain suppliers to stakeholders. To be able to manage the data and analytics used for maintaining compliance with industry standards and regulations, Corden Pharma utilizes software services of CSUBs. CSUBs, which stands for Corporate Subscription Management Services, offers both prescription software and industry-specific account support for clients to be able to analyze their own data. The software includes tools for clients to be able to import data, prepare it and model it, and create visualizations to share with stakeholders. In addition to technical support, account support includes best practices which are relevant to the industry of their client, which in this case is pharmaceuticals. This way, Corden Pharma manages their compliance for regulatory standards themselves and manages their quality contracts and their own supply agreements. Corden Pharma's usage of CSUBs means that users with less technical skills are able to perform data modeling, which further frees up the free time and resources of technical staff to be able to work on other applications. This has also allowed them to mine data and answer important questions, like why their manufacturing yields might be low in some cases. While the software and CSUB account managers help users with the process of data mining, it is still up to Corden Pharma to collect the data they need for their analysis. For other regular analytical operations, CSUBs utilizes SAP. SAP is one of the world's biggest ERP solutions, and Corden Pharma utilizes their system for many of its daily operations, including forecasting and MRP, or material resource planning, procurement, supply chain management, production and scheduling, and inventory tracking. Corden Pharma lacks its own auditing resources, so its ERP system is incremental in allowing them to keep an audit trail. Their services also allow them to detail clear pictures that can help convince prospective customers of the services they offer. SAP's interfaces sometimes do require users to be experienced with the software, or in general be more tech savvy, and some have experienced a learning curve, which can slow down operations. For further discussion and to conclude our presentation, we'll include discussion related to current events. COVID-19 is a deadly infectious disease that was first identified in December 2019 in Wuhan, China. The disease spread quickly, usually undetected, as many who were infected would exhibit little to no symptoms. By January 2020, the World Health Organization declared the outbreak to be a public health emergency of international concern. By June 2020, the disease reached every part of the globe, infecting almost 10 million people and causing the deaths of over 500,000. It is considered an ongoing pandemic. With the business intelligence tools employed, what is the FDA and pharmaceutical industry doing in regards to the research, analysis, and predictions of treatments for the virus and its side effects? We researched and found the following conclusions. The pharmaceutical companies all over the world are honing their resources on the research and development of both treatments and a cure. By modeling data from other infectious diseases, such as Ebola and HIV, pharmaceutical companies are researching and testing different medicines and compounds to treat COVID-19. Whereas the process to approval for drug companies is usually lengthy and there is no preferential treatment in prioritizing evaluations, the FDA can utilize its powers of priority review to prioritize COVID-19 related medicines, breakthrough therapy to foster expedited development of said drugs, and accelerated approval and fast-tracked to collectively get patients access to new treatments faster. A March 2020 study found, published in the International Journal of Antimicrobial Agents, that a small sample of COVID-19 patients experienced improvement after taking a drug used in treating malaria, hydroxychloroquine, along with an antibiotic, azithromycin. Excitement over these gave cause for research labs to begin testing on a wide scale and the FDA to issue emergency use authorization for treatment. Some pharmaceutical companies even went so far as to donate millions of doses of the drug to be used in testing. By June 2020, analysis from additional testing and trials showed that the treatment had no direct effect in treating the disease, and the FDA then issued a statement discouraging the use of either drug in the treatment of COVID-19, at which time the EUA was also revoked. Thank you for listening to our presentation. My name again is Laura KinCannon, presenting with Anna Carr on the FDA and the U.S. pharmaceutical industry implementation of business intelligence tools.